Very often when we see an error message while trying to log in, we can tell very quickly which component in the process is throwing the error. For example, let's try and log into our mid-tier. If you take a look at the browser URL bar, you should be able to see very quickly that the redirect occurs and it goes to SAML. But after that, it comes back to RSSO and we get this message, failed to process SAML message. We can quickly identify this as being an RSSO problem by first looking at the URL, which is RSSO LB, our RSSO server name, RSSO receiver, and our realm name. So we'll use that information to identify where we need to start our troubleshooting. In this instance, it would be on the RSSO server, perhaps looking at the RSSO server logs or the Tomcat logs. But it's quite clear here that the problem is with RSSO. In fact, the problem here is the RSSO configuration is missing the SAML key store. Having a look at the RSSO configuration and or the RSSO server log should quickly identify the problem. Another example on how to quickly tell which component is throwing the error, we'll log into our mid-tier and then we're redirected to SAML and then back to RSSO and we see the infamous AR623 error. This screen here, if you're familiar with AR server and Remedy mid-tier, you could quickly identify it's either the mid-tier or the AR server which is causing the issue. In this instance, this user doesn't exist on the people or AR user form. There are many other errors that you can get which looks very similar to this particular screen here, but it's very obvious that the issue here is either with the mid-tier or the AR. So we'll start our troubleshooting on the mid-tier, maybe having a look at the RSSO agent log and or the mid-tier logs. And on the AR server, the first place you would probably go to is the AR Java plugin. One caveat to that, however, is because this user doesn't exist on the AR people form or user form, we can use RSSO to do a user transformation. So perhaps just moving the domain name. This is the format that the backend authentication is sending to RSSO, and this is what RSSO is sending over to AR. So now let's take a look at another example of an error message. But before doing that, let's quickly add our user transformation back in. And we'll remove domain. Save. And we try to log into our application one more time, which is mid-tier. And we come across this message, which clearly shows the issue is on the ADFS side. So this is where we would need to start our troubleshooting from. In this instance, our identifiers on the ADFS configuration was incorrect. So knowing that, we will have to have a look on the ADFS side and have a look at one, our configuration for our relay and party trust, and two, possibly the ADFS event logs. So this is how to quickly identify which portion of the login process is causing the issue. From here, we can continue to either troubleshoot from the RSSO server side, the AR mid-tier side, or the application side, or the authentication method, which in this case is ADFS.